What's up, Denver? Chris Lopez here, and I've got some exciting news to share with you. If you followed my previous podcasts, my goals throughout the couple years, you know a long-term goal of mine has been to expand into commercial real estate. Years ago, before I got started into real estate out here, I spent a few months as a junior broker at a commercial shop and learned lots, but also saw lots of opportunity for changing the status quo when it comes to how commercial real estate is done. So it's always been a long, overarching goal of mine. And this year was the year I wrote it down to make it happen. Now, I wrote it down, I had my plan, and it's happening just on a very different plan. So if you think of like a Google Maps or a GPS, you get to your destination, and I thought I was going to go this route, but I'm going a different route, which actually turns out to be a much better route. So I'm excited to announce that Kaufman Hagan Commercial Real Estate is a brand new brokerage here in Denver that focuses on multifamily investments. I've got two great partners I'll introduce in 1 minute here. And how this all came about was as I started putting my thoughts and my intention out there to make it happen and get people on board and bring all the pieces together, I met other people that were already in the same transition periods in their life. And if you know me, I love working with talented people in transition. So I was a talented person in transition, and so are the two partners on this podcast and at Kaufman Hagan Real Estate. So the first one to introduce is Teal, Nipp, Hagan. Teal, glad to have you on the podcast. And Teal's background, and she's been in real estate for about 10 years now. Mm-hmm. Started off doing lots of investment properties, wholesaling, and has done all sorts of deals from land acquisition to building to single family to multifamily. Mm-hmm. She knows the game. If there's a problem, she'll find a solution. Our other partner and guest is Brandon Kaufman, the Kaufman and Kaufman Hagan Real Estate. Brandon's background is actually from sports. He played football in college, played a couple years of professional football, and then transitioned into commercial real estate. And I mean, if you read Brandon's bio, he's just done a ton of deals, lots of deal volume. But what stood out to me for Brandon is he really cares. He's very empathetic to the buyers, the sellers, helping clients reach their goals. So I'm excited to have both you guys on the podcast and also be partners with you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So jumping into it, Brandon, I mean, let's get to the point here. You have a very successful career. You've done lots of transactions. You got a great reputation around town.
Thanks. Yeah.
Why now, and why are you wanting to start a commercial shop?
I mean, there's a lot of like personal reasons, and they're not necessarily the most important. I mean, for me, just personally, it's a freedom thing. Doing what I see as best fit for clients, for relationships, and just having that ability and not, necessarily having to fit a certain mold of someone else's. Not to say there aren't, incredible models throughout town, and some I've been a part of, but just essentially taking some really good things from every shop I've been at and just putting it all into, a cumulative push towards, being a very client-focused shop.
Can you expand upon that a little bit? Like on, you said you've got personal reasons and also business reasons. Like highlight that a little bit more.
Sure. I mean, so business reasons first, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there in terms of what I see from even the residential side, the marketing, the way they present properties, I think is very much starting to creep in and sneak into commercial a little bit. And so commercial is starting to get, a lot of more younger people are coming in, they're buying, they're understanding like the value of commercial real estate, the value of these investments, and it seems to be a lot younger. So, creating systems and methods to appeal to them, while also, taking care and preserving wealth and helping out with goals for people that do own current deals.
All right. Teal, I'm going to ask you the same question. Mm-hmm. Why now? Why the desire to start a new shop?
Yeah, I think just like Brandon, it starts personal, right? For all of us. I just had my first child 6 months ago, and, I've been doing deals since 2010. In the investment world, and just being a deal junkie, that you're kind of tied to a high volume of transactions, and really just you're only as good as your last month. If you're doing brokeraging like that and you want to kind of take 2 months off, well, those are 2 months you're not going to have income, so really just like wanting to build something more sustainable for myself. And then separate from that, like having been a part of a team, it's invigorating. There's energy that comes with being a part of a great team.
The right team.
The right team. And then I've also been a part of the wrong teams plenty of times, right? And it's toxic, and it's a fraternity environment, and it's, it's demotivating. And so yeah, I've had the urge for many years to get to be a part of that team. I've just not found the people until now. And so, yeah, it's just like this perfect stars aligned. I think just like all of us coming together and meeting each other and saying like, wait, we all have the same goals here. We all want to create something different. So let's do it, right? Let's bring our experience to the table and change the game a little bit.
Yeah, it's been really fascinating and also very organic.
Yeah.
And this is something that we were talking about the other day, Brandon. You had a great analogy for like a team analogy, a coach analogy, and you got the most experienced commercial real estate out of the three of us. So like, give the analogy you shared with me the other day about why this is different and the niche we are carving out.
We're essentially building it for others. We are. We're building it for the brokers. We're building it for the clients. We're building it to create a system where we're the GM of a team, and we're the ones serving others. We're not here for us in the sense, we're not money motivated. We're more, accomplishments and having good people around us motivated. So, just giving players the tools, helping coach, just surrounding them with diversity in terms of a knowledge base, and just doing only what you want to do in a way.
Yeah. We've said a couple times, championships over MVPs.
I love that. Say that again.
Yeah. Championships over MVPs.
Yeah. It's team over all-star players.
Yeah.
Because the teams win, teams create dynasties, and that's very much what we're focused on to, help our brokers out, help our staff out, but also that ultimately triggers down to helping the clients out, because you don't have the right team members, you can't help out your clients. So having an all-star team together that works together, they're going to help out the most clients. So Teal, you are the employing broker of Kaufman Hagan. Talk to us about kind of the change that you want to see in commercials, because you and I have talked about this as well. Like you've got some, I think a chip on the shoulder might be a good word to use for it.
Totally. Yeah, definitely. And my background is residential, and I eased into commercial through my clients growing. So the clients that I was working with, instead of flips, they're wanting bigger deals. And so I'm sourcing these larger deals for them. But absolutely, I would say there's the fact of the matter is that it's a male-driven industry. And so it's, there's, I think as a female broker, I think some things have been easier for me. Like people are very receptive to hearing from females, and it's just like, but there's a high barrier to entry. It almost seems like, and I don't know if it's a perception of one or an actual one, that we just don't see a lot of females in commercial real estate. And I want to create a platform where I would love to be known as a brokerage that has the female brokers, I think we all think we'll be very successful if we can do that. And I think too, like, just that fraternity, toxic mentality that I'm referring to, we want to kind of remake that. And so one of the ways that I feel like we're remaking that is like seeing, we have two customers as a business. We've got two different customers, and to me as the employing broker, our number one customer is our brokers. And it's, I think from Brandon's perspective, maybe it's also, clients are a lot your focus because you're in the game. But if we can service brokers and they feel like we're servicing them, I'd be curious to know how many commercial brokers feel like they're being serviced by their brokerage of support and staff, and mentorship is a big piece of what we're trying to weave in.
Personal growth, long-term wealth building.
Right. Like, just throw out all the old school crap and let's build something that people want to be a part of. And it's not like this fear-based, well, I'm here because of my split, or I'm here because of, I'm scared to leave because I'll have to leave all these deals behind that I've been working on, and they're not my deals, they're the brokerage's deals. And just this mentality of like being stuck somewhere because I think you could probably speak to that a lot. Like a lot of brokers feel stuck, and it's like, if you're not asking yourself as a broker, am I getting the most value at this brokerage? It's a question to pose to yourself. And I think as a brokerage, we're trying to create something that it's like, there's no question that you're getting the most value. You've got, this incredible office space and this leadership that we're available all the time. And, just all of the things that we're weaving into our values as the brokerage. Yeah.
One of the interesting things to me as we, started getting together and, having coffee, having meetings, having some drinks in there and kind of getting, defining the culture, our backgrounds, was that a lot of us gravitated towards like the what we are not.
Yeah.
You started talking about that, Teal. And Brandon, I mean, you've had some of the best mentors around town. You've been to some great shops around town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been around tremendous people. What were some of the things that you're like, hey, I don't like this about this, but here's what we're going to focus on at Kaufman Hagan?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm just not, an institutional person, an institutional shop type of guy. And like, none of us are.
What does that mean when you say institutional
it's
shop?
very much just like formulated process. You have to go, checklist, mandatory, situations, meetings, retreats. Those are important. Those are money-making activities. But at the end of the day, each broker is running their business. Each broker usually has like an S corp. They are their own entity. They are their own business within a business. And so, just continuing from the top, having gratitude and making it a good situation for a broker to just really thrive and be happy in it, and rather the broker not being a company man, rather the broker being self-fulfilling and accomplishing what they want to in this business.
Yeah, and that's something like kind of just looking outside into you. That was something I felt like you were wanting to grow just in your brokerage business, in your personal investments, and other areas of your life. And a lot of times you didn't have support around growing, which always boggles my mind. It's like, hey, if you want to grow, I'd rather continue to work with you versus splitting off, because there's so much synergy and just that knowledge and culture between ourselves. So that's one thing we're focused on, just helping actual people grow. Yeah. Which ultimately always translates back to the client, the investor, the owner, or the person buying their first investment property into multifamily. It always translates back, if you support your brokers, if you give them the infrastructure and the support they need, they go out there and do a great job, which translates back into clients, which is ultimately like our real end customer, which is where we have to provide value to the marketplace. So on the what we are not, I mean, Teal, I know you have pretty strong opinions on here, just like I do.
What we're not.
Yeah. So let's start there, because I always think I found that very interesting, that as we were talking, we were like, oh, what are we? But we said, what are we not? Man, that came off very, very quickly.
Yeah. When we were trying to pull our values together, we were like, okay, what are our values? And it's like, well, what do we not want to be? That was easy for us.
Write all those off.
Yeah. We're not egos in suits. We're not entitled to brokers' deals, expecting. We're not ungrateful, unappreciative. We expect you to do this many deals. We're here to facilitate deals for the brokers. So that's a big term. We're not micromanagers. We're not, here's your checklist, come to the meeting, we want your checklist submitted. It's completely different mentality there. How can we facilitate? If you haven't been making calls, how can we help? What are your obstacles? Like this is the focus of these meetings with the brokers and such. So we're not volatile. I think we've all worked with volatile people that you're scared almost. There's not an open door policy and you're kind of scared of how you're going to approach people. I think we're just reiterating to our brokers, the door is open. Tell us what you need, which is different than a lot of people. Yeah. So we're not douchebags. Which I think, and
that's the tagline, right?
That's the tagline, yeah, because if you kind of think up who's in commercial real estate, I think a large percentage of that's like, okay, well, there's this just mentality of that you kind of are, I don't know, what do you think, supposed to have been there? What's your phrase? You were born on third base but think you hit a triple. Yeah.
Right. Wait, say that again. I haven't heard this one.
That you're born on third base. This is his.
Yeah.
Born on third base but think you hit a triple. The entitled kind of mentality of
unpack that, Brandon. I love the sports analogy, by the way, but unpack that. I want to make sure I understand it correctly.
I mean, I think you just summed it up. Just entitled, thinking that we did everything, thinking it wasn't built off of great admin, great brokers, just thinking it was us. And I think it's really easy to start off that way, when you need people and when you do need other people working and providing and helping out for you. But once you reach a certain point, I think it's really easy to get away from that and then start thinking, it was my systems that did this. These brokers couldn't have done this without me. And and in Denver specifically, it's so relationship based, and that's how deals get done. Like everyone works with people they like. It doesn't matter what's on the front door. It's definitely, it's a little bit of a flip. It's definitely about like the name on the back, and people want to work with people they like. And, brokers move around so much too that, truthfully, like a lot of people in the market don't necessarily even know where certain brokers are working. So us just never getting too big, for and understanding, why we started it, and not straying from it.
So what about like, I know one of the values we wrote down was being innovative, which is something that definitely resonated with me since, I've never done one commercial deal, me as a broker. I spent 3 months as a junior broker, cold calling, did all the systems, but that was not a good cultural fit for me, to sum it up shortly and politely. But I was like, wow, there's a lot of space on here to do things differently, both on like, the client side, the broker side, all of this. And I'm curious, Brandon, for someone that's done, way more deals, way more volume, and just has a great reputation around town, where do you see the space in being a little more innovative in the commercial space for, both brokers and clients, since they're so intertwined in there?
That's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of it is in marketing. At the end of the day, like brokers are marketers. Like they market your property, and they do their best to, pitch it as if it was their own. And, us as a shop, we want to we want to put out beauty. We want to put out really good product. It's like our name's on it, but also, the client's address is on it. Their property is on it. So we want to push that out in the absolute best light. Spend really good time with it, really get integrated with the property, with the opportunity. And I think, just by treating it as if it was your own, that's really the only difference. Because, at a lot of shops, it is like, how can we collect the most fees by doing the, most streamlined basic thing, like the most systematic thing, and push out the exact same product. If you looked at a lot of brokerages, it takes a lot of time to make an individual product. And so a lot of their marketing materials look the exact same. You open the same email every single day. If you're, in the market, you open the same closing email, you open the same OM, and they all look the same, but there's a story to be told with each property. And so we've created a system to where it can be more individualized and personalized, and we still can, handle the deal volume as if we were just, pushing out the same exact product. So yeah,
I agree. I mean, I think that's a great balance, because you do need systems and processes and templates in place just to kind of keep things running and efficient. But you don't want that to be all templated, like you were talking about, Brandon. Right. And I think we're striking a great balance of having the processes and templates in place, but also allowing to have that, the individual broker and tell the individual story of each property, which kind of get the high tech or high system along with the high touch, which is really, what we have to focus on, because, real estate, especially commercial real estate, it's not going to be automated anytime soon. Right. And that high touch experience you talked about is a huge value there. And this is something I feel very we've had lots of great conversations about this, because this is a chip I have on my shoulder. When I was, making my cold calls, I was like, oh, well, we can do marketing. We can do this. We can do this. And I was scolded and micromanaged not to do it. I was like, oh, okay, well, if you guys are stuck in this old train of thought, I'm sorry, the internet is here.
The world is moving.
More ways to do things to provide more value to clients is here. I'm going to be on the front of the trend, not the back of the trend.
Sure.
So, Teal, you've made the transition from, starting out in wholesaling and residential to doing multifamily and commercial. Where do you see the space and innovation for what we're carving out here?
Well, yeah, I think this is really a question for you, because you're bringing in so much of the technology and the ideas and the business development of the back end infrastructure to what we're building. So, a solid CRM. I think every broker has worked with a CRM, and they also hate that CRM. So
yes,
I don't know a single broker that's
different.
I've found the one, but it's essential for your business, because you're constantly getting leads. And if you get a lead today, it very likely won't manifest for 2 years, but you need a system of organization to make that culminate and manifest later. And, you're just, it was put tennis balls in a pipeline, and you don't know when they're going to pop out the other end, but you need that CRM system to have your leads pop out when you need, to facilitate. So Our CRM, I think, is a great way that we're innovating on the broker's behalf. Like I said, there's 2 clients. So like he's very client focused, and I'm very broker focused of like, how do we make this easier for people and that they're user friendly and again, like a beautiful product. And so you know much more about this than I do.
And I'm glad you brought the CRM, and I'll try not to talk for an hour about it. But I've built, my previous career, 3 versions of CRMs, in-house programming staff, huge sales force, huge volume, totally different marketplace in real estate. But I mean, we're working on, we're building a custom CRM because we know it just has to work. It has to allow brokers to go out there and efficiently and effectively communicate and stay in touch. So we are doing things all built around the process and custom building it, while also bringing in more, innovative ways of doing marketing, such as, podcasts and publishing more content that add value because, brokers, they are focused on building relationships, which is always number one key. Like, you have to build a relationship. That's the key. That's not changing anytime soon in residential or commercial real estate. But with all the marketing, all the technology, there's so much we can do to enhance that conversation, enhance the relationship, and most importantly, enhance bringing value to the client. And so it's a combination of like doing custom-built CRM that actually works for our brokers, our sales force. It works with a back-end marketing system. It works when we produce an offering memorandum. It works when we go under contract. It all just works together.
It's tied to the whole process.
Yeah. So that's what I'm very excited about and what I like to spend a lot of time on because you kind of do the big picture. It's hard to put a timeline to it or track, but it all just like it helps facilitate and build the right infrastructure in place, which is something I'm very excited about into bringing the commercial real estate space. Now I want to go back to our a big focus is on the team mentality and servant leadership. And Brandon, a while ago we were talking about what I think makes this so unique with just what us as principals bring to the table is like, you're a top-notch broker. Teal's a top-notch employing broker. Yeah. I'm a top-notch tech and marketing person. It's very different than, hey, it's 3 commercial brokers leaving out. Like, you've been in transitions, you've been in startups. Like, talk about how that impacts the culture and how it impacts the end result as well.
No, exactly. And that's a big part of why I wanted to do this is just because I didn't want to, like a law firm, like a lawyer meets up with a lawyer and then they go run a law firm. Like a commercial broker meets up with a commercial broker and then that commercial broker is doing accounting. Like that commercial broker is like an elite salesman, like a sniper in the commercial real estate, getting deals done, and it's pulling away from them. You know what I mean? They're getting pulled away from their brokers. They're not available because they're having to, do X, Y, and Z to keep the shop afloat. And marketing and just whatever else comes with, running a business. And so just like, strategic partners, you guys have been incredible. It's just been, when I approached this, it was just like, I had this whole list of like, here's what I think everything we need to do. And just seeing those tasks just like wipe off, and you guys were the ones and doing it and building these with me. And so, that's made me able to just go focus on brokers, spend a lot of time with like our current brokers, like marinate with them on the deals they currently have, and a lot of them are already kind of coming together from it.
Yeah, it's all starting to gel, which is it's very hard to track on an Excel spreadsheet, but all the ingredients are there and it's gelling, which will lead to pretty cool stuff in next 6 months, next year or two.
Yeah.
What about servant leadership, Teal? Because I mean, you're basically running the shop. You're the employing broker. You're making sure everything goes out there, and you're always very focused on being, behind the scenes leader from my perspective, making sure everyone is prepared and go out there and execute. So how is this different from some of the bad cultures you've been a part of in the past?
Yeah. I think it's simple. It's like the standard org chart is the top down. We've got owners, and then you've got, you've got your pyramid. And then at the bottom is this admin staff that really does the bulk of the work and really knows what's going on. And really, we're just like, let's just mix this whole thing up. Like, this is wrong. And so I think it's just like, as leaders of what we're trying to start, we're the foundation for growth for the brokers who are up here on top. It's their business. They're supporting it. They're supporting our business. And so, just flipping the mentality to how can we serve you? Not what deals do you have and you haven't made enough calls, but like, what's going on? How can we facilitate what you're doing? And then really like also we have this incredible admin staff that just, again, stars aligned. I think just when you have energy going on like this, like the right people show up. And it's to me they're the business. They're the marketing. We have a full marketing like group that is working towards like pushing deals out there. Like what new brokerage puts money towards marketing?
Or it's the afterthought.
Yeah, right. You cut, like you say, you cut that first, and you don't emphasize here, but really it's real estate. Like we are working on behalf. We are marketers.
Yeah.
So putting emphasis there and like really like guiding this, like, okay, what do you guys need? How can we facilitate and guide what you need? Instead of like, what are our numbers and how are you going to help us achieve them? I mean, it's just so backwards. So we're trying to flip it, right? And I think we're doing a good job at that so far.
Yeah.
I think we are too. And something as we kind of start wrapping up here, like something that's really stuck out to me as we've been working together and really defining the culture is it's been like the passion everyone brings, whether it's us, our brokers, our admin behind it, everyone is truly passionate about it. And it's not just, oh, what are we doing today? It's what are we doing to build out a year from now, 3 years, 10 years. It's very much a long-term time frame, which I love because just like investing in real estate, you don't get rich on day one.
Tomorrow.
You don't get rich on day two.
Yeah.
You get rich over years and years and years. And that's a big mentality what we're doing here. It's combining that long-term view with just the passion people have because, I mean, pretty much everyone in our organization is a talented person in transition that wants to build wealth, wants to, continue to build in commercial real estate. And it's just amazing culture that is gelling together here. All right, so as we wrap this up, we've got, lots of stuff we'll continue to talk about here and just providing value to the marketplace because in the long run, value wins. How can we provide a great relationship and provide value to our clients, provide value to our brokers as well? So we're going to be talking about lots more stuff in future podcasts and marketing and media. And also, my favorite thing is we're going to be an open book on how we're building the shop, on what we're doing. It's the phrase I love, document, don't create when it comes to content. We're going to be very much documenting what we're doing. We're recording this podcast early November, should hit right before Thanksgiving if everything goes right. But, we're putting a lot of resources into starting the brokerage. We are closing in a week or I guess 2 weeks on a brand new office building downtown.
Yeah,
we're going to document that story, the numbers, and just really do a great job of documenting the growth on there. So if people out there have questions or they want to look at their portfolio or get into multifamily investing or want to figure out, hey, I've got these properties here, what should I do with them? Please reach out. We love looking at deals. We love looking at portfolios and saying, hey, great. Hey, your rents are below. Man, your property manager stinks. Hey, you could do this. You could do this. It's not about the transaction. It's about providing value. Whether that is, hey, you should sell and trade up, or you know what? You got a great asset. That's a legacy asset. I would do these few things, talk to these people over here. We want to help you because that leads to results. And also from like a brokerage standpoint, I mean, Brandon, you come from a sports background. You are great at developing people, great at like leading a team. Like, we are looking to add a few more great brokers on our team. Like, talk about the culture from that standpoint and, who you want.
Yeah, we are. We'd like to add 2, 3, 4 of the right people. That's definitely the more important thing.
Yeah, quality.
Yeah, I mean, there's thousands of properties in Denver, so even a team of 10 can't, go touch every single one of them. In Denver, all the way up to Greeley, down to Colorado Springs. So, there's always going to be opportunity, and if you just put numbers at desks, then you're gonna be okay. Just you're gonna touch everybody, but what we want to build is something that is long lasting, and obviously family gets thrown around a lot, but more so just people that are comfortable with sharing with each other, people that can build their own working relationships within each other and just work off of each other, because collaboration's the most important thing, I think, for this shop and really any commercial real estate
Talk
shop.
about collaboration for a second, because I mean, that's from my experience in my couple months in commercial brokerage, there wasn't a whole lot of collaborating.
Everybody in town, every shop in town will advertise that they're collaborative internally, and some are, but there does get to a point where you do hold things, and it's natural. But if you are true to and committed to being open with your deals, being open with your relationships, being securing your relationships with your clients to where, and with what you're working on, to where you can put it on the table with 8 other people and over time, maybe you split a deal here and there, but over time, you get more deals done that way. You build a presence better. Deals beget deals, success begets success, and you just build on it. And if you can build with the right people and build with, young people that are hungry and energetic, then you have a really successful long-term formula.
And I mean, what came to popped my mind as you're talking about that is just, it's abundance over scarcity. And like, you have that abundance mindset, it wins in the long run. And that's the thing I'm excited about. So, investors out there, whether you own apartment buildings, you want to get into it, reach out. We love developing relationships. We love adding value. Brokers out there, reach out. I mean, we always talking, confidence to you, give you the reality check. We're very much straight shooters. And it's very much about how can you get the right people on the bus for a culture standpoint, which ultimately leads to providing the most value to the end client, the apartment owner, and that's what we want to serve. So if you guys have questions, reach out. All of our contact details in the show notes, or if you get confused, email me. I'll connect you with whoever it needs to be, and we'll get the job done. Teal, Brandon, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.